Hey everyone, welcome to this bonus video. It is June 11th, 2014. We are in the midst of one of the big gaming holiday seasons, and that is, of course, E3. E3 is one of, if not, it is the biggest video game conference of the year. There's some other ones, there's stuff at PAX, and yes, there's the Tokyo Game Show in Japan, but E3 has become kind of the number one conference where all the major companies are kind of giving a lot of previews for all the stuff that's upcoming this holiday season and then, of course, into next year. And a lot of stuff for next year already. 2015 already building up to be a big year. Of course, if they all meet their release dates. So anyway, I've decided to do things a little bit different than I've done before for E3 videos. I usually do split it up because there's just so much to talk about. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to put a different video for Microsoft as one, Sony as one, Nintendo as one, and then for the EA and Ubisoft conferences, I do want to talk about them. They're going to be their own video together. I'll do Ubisoft and EA together. So anyway, we're going to start off with the one who started it all off, and that was Microsoft. I'm going to go through, I have kind of the highlight keynote type thing, to kind of jog my memory, because it has been 2 days. I know this is really late compared to a lot of people's videos. I hope you do check this out. I hope you do watch. It's been a really hectic couple days. I've been dealing with birthdays. I've been dealing with not only watching, of course, E3. I was at a baseball game earlier tonight, and tons of other stuff. But I'm finally here to talk about this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're talking about Microsoft. Now, first off, Microsoft has not impressed me over the last few years. Let's just give my general background on how I feel about Microsoft at this point. I do not own an Xbox One. I, of course, do own a 360. I've owned it for very many years. It was actually the first of the last gen consoles with the Xbox 360, PS3, and Nintendo Wii. The first one I owned of those three was the Xbox 360, and I loved it, and I played it for a long time until about 2011-ish, 2012, probably 2011. After the Kinect became like the main focus point, I kind of left Microsoft, and I went to Sony with the PS3. I got a PS3, and I kind of fell in love with the PS3, and I stayed with that throughout the rest of the gen. And now, in the current gen, I bought the Wii U and the PS4. I have not bought the One yet. So this was a chance for Microsoft, and I said going in, win me over, Microsoft, because I already have a PS4, so the non-exclusives that are multi-console, I have a system that can play those. And so I needed stuff that I was going to be exclusive to Microsoft's system. And there was already Dead Rising 3, which I do want to play. I love the other Dead Risings. I've heard recently, though, that they're doing a PC port for Dead Rising 3, so it won't be exclusive to the One anymore, which that's a big deal. That's one of the few games I really wanted on the One. And we're going to talk about one of the other games that's exclusive to the One that I do really want. But it's still, even after all this, I'm not sure if I want to grab it right now. I'm going to buy one anyway, eventually. Eventually, I'm getting a One no matter what I say. I'm going to get one, eventually. Going to get one of the One. Anyway, so this, anyway, I'm just kind of stumbling here. So Microsoft over the last few years has lost many a gamer due to the fact that they have shown crap at their E3 press conferences. This is a chance where you can win fans. You get fans. You make money at E3. You have to spend money to make money. E3, you put a lot of effort and a lot of money into it, with the potential being you sell games and products and hardware and all that bull crap as the year goes on, and from then on, and so on and so forth. Microsoft over the last few years has shoved Kinect down our throats, and then last year in particular, they, of course, were promoting the Xbox One, which was launching last year, and they completely crapped the bed. All over it. They just explosive diarrhea all over their sleeping quarters with the DRM, with, getting rid of used games being able to be played on the Xbox One, focusing more on the media part of the Xbox One and not the games part. Well, they clearly learned. And the Xbox One, of course, got rid of most of that crap that we didn't want anyway. And also, this year, they focused only on games. They were about 90 minutes long for their conference, and it was all about games. Little brief things, I think, like tiny mentions of some other stuff. But it was like all games. Now, okay, so let's blah, 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 blah. They kicked it off. They're like, my favorite thing though, and you have to throw little jabs in here, amongst things that I can think of to throw a jab, but it's kind of funny that they start off, we're going to show you new and brand new experiences that you've never seen before, and then they kick it off with Call of Duty, which is kind of the epitome nowadays of the recycled game, like your Maddens, like, any other sports title. You're getting a Call of Duty every single year, whether you like it or not. So anyway, they showed off the new Call of Duty game, Advanced Warfare. I don't know, what is it even called? Advanced Warfare. Is that what it's just called? Advanced Warfare? Okay, that's apparently what it's being called. Anyway, apparently it's being first launched, DLC for it's first being launched on the 1, so that's a big deal to Call of Duty fans. Hey, if you're watching this and you happen to be one of those really big, hardcore Call of Duty fans, I'm shocked that you actually would even found my video. But, congratulations. Have fun. I hope this game impressed the crap out of you. As the gamer I am, didn't mean anything to me. In fact, it actually looked less Call of Duty than any other previous Call of Duty I have ever seen before. When I think of Call of Duty nowadays, I'm thinking, of course, from Modern Warfare, Black Ops. This was not that. This was lasers and robots and space pods and all kinds of crap like that. This had nothing to do with what I think of when I think of Call of Duty. Now, I know they gotta eventually keep evolving and all that, but eventually you keep evolving like this, you're gonna become Gears of War or Halo. Like, that's where it's going, and I'm not a fan of any of these shooters in general. I don't play lots of online multiplayer video games. I am much more of a single-player gamer. I have given credit to Call of Duty in the past. I don't completely and utterly crap all over Call of Duty as the worst thing that's ever happened in video games. I do think it is a lot recycled. I'm not a big fan of its community in general, but that's, I can say about multiplayer communities as a whole in video games. So I'm not really big into MMOs, and I'm definitely not big into MOBAs like League of Legends. Community is poison a lot of the time. But I have enjoyed playing Call of Duty online, multiplayer, death matches, that kind of stuff in the past, with Modern Warfare 1, 2, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2. Like, I did play those. Mainly, Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, I probably played the most. And I have played through the story, single-player story, of all 4 of them. I haven't played Ghost or tried Ghost at all. I have enjoyed bits and pieces of the story here and there as far as the storyline goes, single-player-wise, of these games, especially Modern Warfare 1, and Modern Warfare 2. Like, both of the Modern Warfare games, I really did. I liked the story mode. It was fun playing through it. I enjoyed the campaign. So, I could probably still get maybe enjoyment out of that in the end. Now, this game is actually being developed by Sledgehammer, which has pieces of another company, I think, that was thrown into this. I don't think this is somebody who's done the other Call of Duty games, so this is kind of a whole new thing altogether. But, anyway, so good luck to them, all that. It's not my type, I'm not buying it on day one. So that definitely wasn't anything I was interested in. Then they showed Forza, which isn't exclusive to the 1. But I'm not a car driving fan. I like my Mario Karts. I like Burnout. I am not a realistic driving person, so any game that's immediately a realistic driving game, I'm not a huge fan of. I played Project Gotham back in the day. Project Gotham Racing 2 I actually got for a Christmas one year. And I didn't mind it. I played it a bit. I played Gran Turismo in the past before, and I have messed with Forzas. My whole thing though is I like not only racing, but I'm not a gearhead at all. I don't like get into the bits and pieces of each car and the motors and all that. I couldn't tell you crap about a car. I can tell you crap about a video game, but not crap about a car. In the end, that's not going to serve me that well, I guess. Maybe probably run into more car problems in my life than video game problems. But anyway, I like to drive a car fast, and then if I crash, I love to see crashes and explosions. It's pretty, and it's fire, and it's glass everywhere. Not in real life, of course. No one should ever have to deal with, no one crash. I don't condone crashing your car. That's probably a very bad thing for you to do. But I like seeing it in a video game because it's cool. And anyway, I hate in modern realistic driving games, you can drive like in some of the old Gran Turismos, you can drive like 100 miles per hour right into a giant brick wall and then not a single dent on your car. I want my cars to get dented and destroyed and explode and all that. So these games don't appeal to me. That's not and those who like these games don't care about damaging the car. So it's a win-win. So it looks pretty. It does look pretty. Forza looks pretty. That's all I can say about it. Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, this is a big thing, and we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Unity multiple times. I'll probably mention some of this stuff maybe again in the Ubisoft one. I don't know if I will, though. Maybe I'll just say, hey, watch the Xbox one. Can I talk about Assassin's Creed Unity? Anyway, of course, the new Assassin's Creed. Now, I love Assassin's Creed. I have played and beaten every Assassin's Creed. Trying to think of which one I have. Oh, I have not played, like, the DS one. There's a DS one. I never played that one. But I have beaten, especially recently in the last, a little bit, 3, Black Flag, even Liberation, which I didn't even have a Vita at the time, but I played it when they ported it over to the PlayStation 3. I finally got a chance to play Assassin's Creed Liberation, and I loved Black Flag. Here's the whole thing with Assassin's Creed with me. I hate it, one, and I'm just talking about the main numbers. I'm not, Brotherhood and all that, they're cool games. They stand on they are what they are. I'm just talking about mainly the 4, though, the 4 numbered ones. Anyway, I hate 1. In the end, 1 got really boring to me. Loved 2. Assassin's Creed 2 is amazing. I did not like Assassin's Creed 3 really at all. There was just, and then 4, I absolutely freaking loved. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Unity. It's taking place during the French Revolution. And this is what's the big draw to me, because I'm a history guy. I love history. It's one of the many reasons I like Assassin's Creed games, is that bits of history. Yes, it's overdone, it's over the top, but there are bits and pieces of history, and there is, it's truth to the history in sense. All the main people you are killing did really exist, and it kind of, I've always thought of it as, I would hope, I doubt people really do it, but one of the things I like about Assassin's Creed is some of them, the ones I don't know about, some of the more lesser characters, or some of the lesser places and all, is after exploring them in these games, then checking out the real history of it, reading more about it that I didn't already know. I like that whole aspect. I like history. So Assassin's Creed is always cool to me. Anyway, so Unity is multiplayer. That's a big hype. Now, it does have a single player, which I was not sure at first. They showed this in the Ubisoft demo. They showed single player. During the Microsoft one, they showed the multiplayer aspect of it, with having 4 of you go in and destroy things like that. My biggest fear and problem with it is, I like my Assassin's Creed single player. Number 1, I don't play the multiplayer in any of the other Assassin's Creeds. And it's a stealth game. It's Assassin's Creed. It's a stealth game. I suck at stealth. I love playing these games, but I've always said I suck at stealth. So even with Metal Gear and everything, I suck at it, but it is a stealth game. Can it really be fully stealth if it's 4 people going at it? Or is it going to be and I doubt they'll do this, because they're going to want it playable and being able to be picked up by a lot of people. They're going to really try to sell the multiplayer to, hey, play with your friends. So I really think they're going to be a little bit more lenient with this game over other games as far as the stealth goes. I think it's going to be a lot more chaos going on in this one over the other ones, to make sure that everyone's engaged with the multiplayer. And that's what I fear. I feel like, or you can do the opposite, where it's like, okay, 3 of us are extremely stealthy, but one guy decides to goof off and he gets caught, and then we all lose or all fail a mission, something like that. I don't know. I need to see more of this, and I probably won't get to see a lot of the answers I really truly want with it until the game's launched. And I will be buying it at launch. I'm sure I will. I have friends already that are interested in playing multiplayer with me. I'm probably getting this. Though, of course, I'm getting it on a PlayStation 4. I won't be getting it on the Xbox One. Anyway, so the trailer was impressive. I liked both trailers. They did a trailer here and they did a trailer at Ubisoft's thing. Cool trailers. I never go by trailers anymore as far as any game goes. The reason for that is Dead Island. We'll talk about Dead Island later when we get to the Sony press conference in another video. Anyway, Sunset Overdrive was next. Oh no, sorry, Dragon Age Inquisition was next. Big Dragon Age fan. In fact, I've already bought my Dragon Age Inquisitors Collector's Edition game that costs $170 freaking dollars. But I had to have it because it's Dragon Age, and I love the first one. Everyone hates the second one. Yes, I'm gonna get that one comment. I'm the guy who liked 2. Congrats, thank you. You prove my rule that I've said, and it's a law. It's a scientific law at this point. No matter how bad or shitty a game is and how bad it's received, you always have the people that'll be like, I really like that game. And you'll even have the people that'll be like, I like that game better than the game that's considered the number 1 in the whole series. It's cool. If that's what you like, that's what you like. And it's not me hating on you, it's just, I say it was universally panned for so many reasons, Dragon Age 2, and it deserved it. It was a completely rushed game with horrible, horrible dungeon design and repetitive dungeon design. When you did the same cave 5 times in the first 2 hours of the game, I was just like, no, I'm done. Oh my god, I hated it. I suffered through it. for the sake. So anyway, I'm hoping that Inquisition gets back to the roots, and that's what we want, right? If you like Dragon Age, you want to go back to that. And the gameplay demo and everything else looks really cool. And I don't want to get on the rant about the Inquisitors Collector's Edition because I really like it and it's really cool. I love Collector's Editions. As you can see in my back, you can see my Halo helmet and Assassin's Creed 4 Collector's Edition back there and a whole bunch of other shit. My Bioshock and Songbird, all that. If you've never looked at my back table, it's kind of hard to see because of the way I do things, but most of my collectors are down there. Anyway, I had to buy the whole thing. It's a GameStop exclusive. You had to pay for the whole thing at one time. So I was a little bit upset at that because normally on collector's editions at a GameStop, you can pre-order for $25, and that's all you have to pay on it now, and then you can pay it off or pay it off a little bits at a time until you get closer to the release, and all that good stuff. But apparently for this one, it's GameStop exclusive. They decide you cannot order it online. I mean, you have to order it through their online service. You can't get it in store, so that means you have to pay it all in front. And, they were like, and the reason I was given was, well, people buy collector's editions for the $150+ collector's editions, and they don't come and pick it up, and then we're stuck with them, and then we can't sell them, and we lose money, and wah. It's GameStop. I don't have any sympathy for you. But then, a week later, literally 1 week later, The Witcher 3 Collector's Edition, we'll be talking about Witcher 3 later on, The Witcher 3 one, which is also another $150 freaking Collector's Edition, which I also pre-ordered. I could pre-order that one for the $25, but not the Dragon Age one. Okay, rant over, go back to E3. I know, small, detour. We took a detour. We curved off that road. Anyway, looking forward to it, and it looks pretty. Awesome. Right? I need to hurry these up a little bit more. Sunset Overdrive, another game I am very, very much looking forward to, and it is the number one game right now on the Xbox One that I want more than anything else. This is the reason I want a 1. The only reason I want a 1 at this point, because like I said, Dead Rising 3 is probably, they say it's probably going to PC. At least that's what I keep hearing. I don't know if it's true. So it's Dead Rising 3, which I heard mixed things on to begin with, and Sunset Overdrive, which looks absolutely freaking phenomenal. It's by Insomniac, makers of amazing, amazing games. Of course, the Ratchet & Clank series and the original Spyro the Dragon. I'll forgive them for Resistance, though it made them a lot of money. Anyway, this game looks amazing. They're getting back to their roots of a cool, action-packed platforming shooter with rails that you move around, big giant monsters, lots of pretty colors, and it looks beautiful. Plus, it has this darker edge to it. It just is amazing. This is, really, really cool. Check out the stuff on Sunset Overdrive if you have not already. This is one of the reasons you would want an Xbox One, at least from everything we have seen up to this point. Okay. Dead Rising 3 DLC was announced, which is the trailer for this alone will make you laugh, hysterically laugh, because it is, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's this big, they very much parodied every Street Fighter title, like having Super Street Fighter or Hyper Street Fighter and all that kind of stuff, as the Dead Rising 3 Hyper Super X Alpha, all this kind of stuff, and it has tons of costumes from all different Capcom franchises available in it. It also has it's 4-player co-op that features also the other characters from the Dead Rising games, all the other main characters. So you can play as Frank, and you can play as Chuck, right? Chuck from Dead Rising 2. You can play as these characters plus the characters from 3. And there's all kinds of goofy ass costumes. So it's really cool for a DLC. It's available already. I did not see reviews for it yet, but it was immediately announced that it was available right then and there, which is awesome. Anyway, it looks cool, and I would love to check it out if I had a 1. Okay, and they showed, Harmonix came out, and they showed a little bit of Dance Central Spotlight. No thanks, I'm just moving on. There's no really point in me talking about it. Only other thing with Kinect, they have the Disney they're doing the Disney Fantasia game. Another game I'm not really super interested in. Okay, moving on. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Something else I was missing, right? Fable Legends. They talked a lot about Fable Legends. Now, of course, Fable Legends is going to be an Xbox One exclusive, most likely. Maybe a PC, possibly, because it is Microsoft. Of course, fans of Fable want the new Fable game, right? You want Fable 4, right? No, well, you're getting Fable Legends, which is a multiplayer game, and it's focused on multiplayer only, really, and it's you against a whole horde, you and 4 people against, it looks like a hack and slash style game in the vein of being Fable. And it looks okay. If you like those types of games, like it could be, I guess, similar to like a Gauntlet, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. But it did not look like Fable. It's not Fable. It is not Fable 4. You're not going to be doing RPG elements like going to towns and buying properties and all that kind of stuff. AKA the stuff I really like in Fable is that aspect, because honestly, the combat in Fable has never interested me. In fact, I think the combat in Fable is extremely, extremely weak, especially in Fables 2 and 3. Where you die and you don't even get a penalty for it. Like, you lose a little bit of money or something, and you can just keep dying. Like, you don't even go back to any previous point. There's no penalty for dying. It's extremely easy, even on the harder settings. It was very, very easy. Anyway, so I liked Fable, and I have played Fable 1, 2, and 3. I did not play that Fable Connect game. Did that even come out? Honestly, I didn't even pay attention. I'm sure it did at this point, but no. And, this, to me, no, it does not. When you get Fable 4 announced and it actually starts living up to the promises that the other Fables, said they were going to live up to, call me. Let me know. Give me a ring, Microsoft. I'll be interested at that point. Okay, let's talk about the moment in the entire conference that immediately made me go from, hey, you know what, maybe I'll buy an Xbox One this year, to immediately being, no, Xbox, fuck you, I'm not buying your damn system, Microsoft, kiss my ass. Like I said before, I'll probably end up buying one anyway. But at that point, I said, no, I'm done with you, Microsoft, I am done. Screw you. Project Spark. It looks like a really cool freaking concept. It's like a Little Big Planet, but more action-y, where people custom create levels and designs and all kinds of cool freaking settings. Okay. Check out the game if you haven't already. Check it out. It does look like it could potentially be a really, really cool concept and a really cool game. Basically, like I said, potentially Microsoft's Little Big Planet-esque game. Okay. With that being said, at the end of the trailer for this, and this has already made its rounds, so you already know about this if you watched E3, they have the logo for it, and then all of a sudden, a chainsaw goes through it. And there he is, the man himself, Conker. Conker the Squirrel has made his return to any form of video games, and we have not seen him since the terrible butchering remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day that was available on the Microsoft Xbox, which I hated, because the original version, the 64 version, is very far superior, vastly superior. That would be probably the proper word I was looking for. Anyway, and then he's like, it's been like 10 years since I had a game, everyone happy to see me, blah, 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 I'm in Project Spark only. Really? Project Spark only. I can't do this justice. JonTron, very famous internet guy, of course, you all know him. Anyway, he put up a video immediately, like, after this whole thing, that better justifies any reaction I could possibly have. I just kind of was like the middle finger and a fuck you to Microsoft. Don't tease me like that, Microsoft. See, that's bullshit. Like, if it came out later that, hey, look, Conker was part of this, and he was just like, okay, let's also some other random cute characters and all were part of Project Spark, that's cool. But the tease Conker like that, to have him bust through the logo with a chainsaw, you should have immediately then been like, hey, I'm back, Project, and then go right into a trailer for his brand new title. This is a middle finger to the fans that have dealt with Microsoft already killing Rare, all these years ago. And I'm not even going to get into the whole thing with Rare right now. There's it's Rare's dead, it's never coming back, we have to all grow up and live with it. Yay, being older and dealing with shit you don't want to deal with. But, anyway, this is a big middle finger to the fans. As far as I'm concerned, they may have thought it was a cool cameo, and a lot of people would be like, well, I thought it was a cool cameo. That's fine, if that's what you take it as, but to me, it's more or less, don't remember you loved Banjo-Kazooie? Well, we fucked him. Now, you remember Conker? Well, guess what? You want a new Conker game? Fuck you. You're going to have to deal with what we want. If you want to mess with Conker at all, which I'm sure he won't even be foul-mouthed or anything that's even closely similar to the Conker games, too bad. Deal with it. Like I said, F you. That kind of thing. So, that was just such an ass movement. Then they talked about Halo, and the new Halo 5 coming out. Yay. The cool thing, though, was they did announce the Master Chief Collection, which includes Halos 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not ODST, not Reach, not Wars, just the Master Chief games, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they are remastering Halo 2. The cool thing about this is you get all the games for one price. If you've never played them before, you'll get to play them on your Xbox One. You also get a beta to the Xbox, the Halo 5 multiplayer So for those interested, you're going to get that ahead of time if you buy the Master Chief Collection. But what's really cool is the original online modes and maps are all available for all 4 games. So for those who are interested in multiplayer, you will be able to go back and relive the original Halo 1, which was remastered and already done in HD on the 360, as well as Halo 2 now fully redone as well, which that's the cool part for old fans of Halo. You will get to experience Halo 2 again, and it looks pretty. It looks cool. So, awesome stuff. That is cool. As far as Halo 5 goes in any detail, like I said, I've never, just with Call of Duty, I'm not a huge Halo person. I don't get into the story of Halo. I've played through most of them, not all of them. But at the same time, I can enjoy it just like Call of Duty with friends or even by myself for a little bit, the multiplayer. I can get into it for like a couple of days and I'm kind of like out of it again. I'm not hardcore into it. But anyway, so I had to mention it. Of course, they were going to have Halo. It's not going to make me buy the system though. They also showed a whole lot of indie games during the span of this. Microsoft really tried to push the fact that they're doing a lot of stuff with independent developers, which is awesome. Indie gaming is where it's at. If you're not really in on the whole indie thing, you need to check out indie gaming because it is where the true gaming is being done at this point. Innovation, taking chances, making mistakes. Get messy, make mistakes, whatever Miss Frizzle used to say back in Magic School Bus. Anyway, that's where indie gaming is, and that's what indie gaming is representing as far as to the other gamers. And there was some really cool stuff here. They also showed a game called Ori, which looks amazing. It looks like it's a very independent-looking game. I'm not sure who exactly is developing it, but I'm pretty sure it's an independent studio. It looks absolutely amazing, and apparently it is going to be exclusive to the Xbox One. Check it out. It's called Ori and the Forbidden something. Check that out. Anyway, so then that was everything that I mentioned previous to this is for 2014. Then they announced 2015 stuff, which included a trailer for the various indie titles. So some of these indie titles will be 2014, some are 2015. Okay. Anyway, they then showed the new teaser trailer for Rise of the Tomb Raider, which will be the new Tomb Raider game. Of course, a sequel to the remake of Tomb Raider that came out for PS3, 360, and then was ported over to the 4, and I guess it was also on the 1. I assume it was. I didn't see it on that. Anyway, it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. It was on my top 20 games of 2013 list. You can go check it back in the archives for that if you want to, because that would be cool. Give it some old love. But anyway, it was part of that. My biggest problem with the game, though, was it erased my save at the end, and I ended up trading the game in. They released it on the 4, which I kind of want to pick up the 4 version and kind of mess with it again at some point. But anyway, so the trailer looks cool. Check it out. This game is probably way off from being close to release, but it should be good. If it's anything like the other one, it should be at least enjoyable. Then they showed off the remake or reboot or whatever of Phantom Dust. You know, some people are like, what? Phantom Dust? Yeah, Phantom Dust, a game that was originally made for the original Xbox, and it was an action hack and slash style of game. A lot of fun. Back then, it's an action game. It's not really hack and slash. It's an action game with RPG elements and all this. And the trailer for the remake reboot looks really cool. I only messed with Phantom Dust a tiny little bit back in the day. It was one of the few Microsoft original Xbox games that were exclusive. That was definitely worth checking out. Anyway, you'll see it on a lot of the can't miss Microsoft Xbox titles, or you'll see on the hidden gems of the Xbox titles. So kind of interesting that they're diving back into Phantom Dust to bring this back, but very cool that they are. They showed off Tom Clancy's The Division. This is a game that the trailer, which was shown at the Ubisoft press conference, was really cool looking. I love this trailer, but I already knew I wasn't really that interested in it just because it's a multiplayer game. It's a multiplayer online style game. It's a shooter. Not surprising because it's a Tom Clancy game. So it looks pretty. It's set in New York after a epidemic kills everybody basically, and you're trying to get through this, and it's at Christmas time, so it's all snow covered. It's a beautiful looking game. Not up my alley, not necessarily what I'm looking for, but for those who are, it's cool. Next up, they announced the Xbox exclusive of Scalebound, which looks pretty cool. It's a guy and dinosaur monster type thing, a giant creature following him, and then there's a dragon. You can even ride the dragon. It's combat. I'm wondering if this is Microsoft's answer. They didn't show actually gameplay yet. It's just a teaser trailer, so we'll have to wait because this could be something I'd be interested in, but I have to wait. And I'm wondering, though, if this is Microsoft's answer to Monster Hunter. Because they don't have the Monster Hunter series on Microsoft platforms. So it will be interesting to see if this is what Microsoft is going to try to establish the Monster Hunter franchise or something like it on the Xbox One. So we're going to be a long way off from this. Check out the trailer if you haven't. It's really cool looking. But we're going to have to wait and see on this one. And last but not least, the big final reveal was bringing back a game from the Xbox 360, making a new game out of it. That's Crackdown 3. For the One, of course, and this is going to be an exclusive. So another really cool game. I like the first Crackdown. I'm not so in love with it, though. That immediately makes me want to go out and buy the One. It's an open world game. It's futuristic. You can jump really, really high in it. There's lots of really cool destructible stuff in it. They look like they're really, really focused on destruction in this version, just from the trailer. Now, no gameplay shown, just a trailer. But it looks in concept like it's going to be really cool. So when we get closer to that release, whenever that is, which won't be till next year at least, 2015, I'll be more inclined to kind of give Crackdown a bigger and better look at that point. So anyway, that is Microsoft's press conference. Wow, we went 30 minutes just on this. So be sure to stay tuned on my channel for Sony's, Ubisoft's, EA's, and Nintendo's press conferences. They're going to be, I probably should just link them all down below in one kind of thing, or they're all going to be a playlist. You can definitely check out the playlist. Yeah, playlist. Woo, and put them all in order, all that good stuff. Anyway, guys, that will wrap this up. If you have any questions in particular, you can post them down below. I know I've been really late on my weekly wrap-up stuff. I am coming back with that. I don't know if anyone will watch to the end of this just for that, but anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.